You know how sometimes when you're scrolling through your TikTok, you get an ad that pops up and says game system, handheld gaming system, thousands of games for 20 bucks. And obviously they're junk, so you don't buy it. I bought one. So right here inside this pink package of awesome is my very own game console. R365 with a high resolution screen and a gamepad and a, what does that say? Major? Anyways, it says gamepad major chip TF card. Wow. And also because I'm a sucker, they said, hey, if you up it like $5, you'll get free shipping if you buy something else. So I bought this, I'm sure, amazing hunk of awesome. This is a 2.4G wireless controller gamepad. It's an HDMI stick that has games on it, apparently. Yeah. So that's on the agenda for today. I'm going to play with these, I'm sure, high quality game consoles and let you know if they're worth spending your hard-earned 20 bucks on or not. Before we actually get into this video, I guarantee you these things are loaded with ROMs. So I'm not gonna tell you where to buy these necessarily. There's a million stores out there, and I do not condone piracy. So don't buy these things for the ROMs. Buy them for the games and make sure that you own all the games that are on here before you play them. That's how you get legal. So anyways, don't burn the house down. What? Whoa! Ah! Okay, so let's start off by looking at what's in the box.
What's in the box?
So when I first bought this thing, I actually thought maybe this was going to be an Anbernic device. Anbernic does make things that have similar model numbers to these. I will have to check and see if this is one of them that this is cloning, but I think this thing was like under 20 bucks. So I'm pretty sure it's not an Anbernic device. I do own an Anbernic device and it is very high quality. I have a feeling this is not that. So in the box, looks like some screen protectors and a cheap screen protector, okay. On all the wipes, there is your power cord. At least it is Type-C, that's good. Out. There it is. Okay, and I assume this is the faceplate. Okay, so I do have the white one. Ooh, that's not what you want to hear from buttons. Oh my god! So I will tell you flat out, this is not an Anbernic device. This is very, very cheaply built, like really cheap. The plastic is. It's just got that cheap, hollow feeling to it. The buttons, when you push the button, you can see the other buttons move with it. They're literally one membrane. It just feels, it does have L3 and R3, which is fine, but man, these shoulder buttons, you don't want this thing to sound like that. You want like some give. Yeesh. Let's see here. So for buttons, we've got power, R, which I'm going to assume is probably like a reset. This is your TF2 game, which I assume is where the ROM's probably located. 2 USB-C ports, DC and OTG. Somebody in the comments tell me what OTG means. I assume this is power. OTG, maybe that's for a display port out. It is battery operated. It is a rechargeable battery. Okay, that's cool. Weird. They would have a door for that, but awesome. You've got a select, start, and FN, which I assume is function. Let's just see here. Power this thing on. RG36S open source console, it says. Now I will say I do own an Anbernic RG556, I believe is what it's called. It's like a big, I'll show it to you later on actually, because I'll do a little bit of a comparison, but it's much larger than this. It's more like a Switch size. Ooh, R36S collection. Oh boy. Yeah, that speaker sounds like garbage. Let's start there. Let me turn this way down. All the way down. There we go. Okay. So it jumps you right into the front end here. We've got a launcher. Looks like a bunch of different games pre-installed like I thought. And again, folks, I'm not about that pirate life, so only play games that you own copies of. And that's what I'll be doing. So every game that I do show you on here, I do have a physical copy of, okay? So don't come at me, Nintendo. Leave me alone, I'm one of your friends. Okay, so we've got Wonder Swan, Atari, MAME, Capcom, favorites, all games, MS2, PSP, PlayStation, Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo. So a system like this, I cannot for a second believe that it's going to be powerful enough to run PlayStation games. And in all honesty, I didn't buy this thinking that it would be able to run anything other than like up to maybe Super Nintendo games, which I am fine with. In my RG556, it's a Nintendo Switch form factor, and you know what? I'm gonna go grab it just so I can make this point. Okay, so this is my Emmernick RG556, and like I said, this is like a Nintendo Switch. It's got a 16:9 form factor. I love this thing, and you can tell this is a quality built thing. Notice how you can't hear those buttons. The triggers, you actually press them, they click, they're nice, okay? This is a premium built device, but I have a hard time playing older consoles on this, like Nintendo and Super Nintendo, because it just doesn't quite feel right. I want that feeling of a Game Boy, like a Game Boy form factor if I'm playing 4x3 games, because on here, you know, it centers them in the middle, so you still have that 4x3, but it just doesn't feel right playing it like this. It feels like I need something that I can play with this 4x3 formed in a Nintendo, like a Game Boy form factor. I don't know. So maybe this will scratch that itch for me, maybe it won't. We'll find out. I don't anticipate that this will play PlayStation or, you know, Nintendo 64 games that well. This will play up through PlayStation 2, like I can play God of War 2 on here perfectly fine. I don't believe this will be necessary on here, and I hope it isn't, so let's just take a look. So we're gonna jump right into the games that I'm curious about. So Super Famicom, and you know what, we'll start with Mortal Kombat 3. Turn the speaker up here a little bit. This is obviously running, I believe it's a Linux front end. If I am wrong about that, please just tell me in the comments. You won't hurt my feelings. It jumps into RetroArch. This is obviously a ROM or potentially ROM hack, but okay, so I mean, it's responsive enough. Speaker is not getting very loud, and it is just a mono speaker. It's a single speaker right in the middle, so it doesn't sound great, but I mean, it's sufficient. Hold the phone. Okay. Did I just pick the hard one? What the crap? Let's get the joypads. Maybe the stick will be better. These buttons are definitely chunky. Yeah, it's impossible to do like the down to forward moves because this D-pad sucks. It's just terrible. Like, you can't do a quick down to forward movement like that, like you would need to use this for. Okay, so I'm not good at Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna hit the R button, assuming that's reset. The game obviously ran great. These buttons really suck. That's gonna be a lot of getting used to. Hopefully this will work and be fine. Because this D-pad is rough. Like, there is no way to go down to forward like you would need to do in Mortal Kombat. It's rough to the touch. Like, the texture is like a hard, almost a rough plastic. Alright, well, let's just jump into the next thing here. So I don't anticipate this will have any issues running Super Nintendo. I do want to try a Nintendo 64 game though. And there are a bunch on here. So let's just pick, I don't know. Let's go for the gold here. Let's try GoldenEye. There's no way this thing will run. I'm picking the hardest game possible to try it. Come in. There we go. Okay. 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 There's no way. starting to stutter real bad. Oh, yeah, I should have problems. Okay, so it's not gonna run GoldenEye. Got it. I mean, it's moving. It's just not playable. Okay, stop wasting time with that. Okay, so another game that I really want to be able to play on here would be like a Game Boy Advance. Like I said, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, GBA. That's kind of where I want this thing to land for me. I didn't think it would run 64, and it may run some. I mean, it actually ran GoldenEye far better than I thought it would, so maybe it will run some easier 64 games for you. That's not what I'm here for. Let's see. Let's go to Backyard Football for GBA. Ah, this is awesome. I don't love that the A and B are here. I wish, you know, and maybe I can remap that if I go into the settings somehow. I'd like to remap A and B to be here, just because that's where my fingers kind of naturally land. But that's just a baby gripe. Apologize for my dog drinking water in the background. But this is great. No, this is obviously GBA runs great. Oh, great, this dude's about to ready to clock me. I don't know how to play this game, but it runs awesome, so that's great. Hold on. I just started this thing back up and it went into the PlayStation 2 boot up sound. Okay, so Game Boy works. I'm not even gonna mess with DS. Let's just try a PlayStation. Oh no, you know, Dreamcast is easier to run than PlayStation was. Let's try this. If it runs Dreamcast, I will be floored. I'll be absolutely floored, because this was like a $20 handheld. So if it can run Dreamcast, I will be floored. I can get past the garbage buttons because it doesn't feel as bad when you're playing like the Game Boy games. I believe for like a newer game, this would really drive me nuts. Like Mortal Kombat was obviously having issues, but maybe I could use the pad for it as opposed to the D-pad. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, sure. On the game, I can barely read that, but there we go. Yep. A lot of intro screens here.
It's party time. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's party time. Let's have a ride. Let's go go ahead and make your hard driver.
Okay.
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go.
How about forward? The buttons are not mapped properly. Oh no, I have to use my R2? Okay, never mind, maybe R. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm trying, bro. You guys don't know how to drive.
You better pick someone up or you're gonna run out of time.
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, this may be a button issue. I'm trying, fella. Why am I going the wrong way, dude? I'm pushing these buttons that pop and nothing. Like, I literally have one button. I don't know. So, the game actually runs, which is pretty shocking. It runs really well. I only heard a couple of, like, audio stutters in there. I'm sure you can mess with the mapping of the buttons to figure out how to get that right. But that's pretty shocking that it actually runs Dreamcast. So, all right, final impressions. This thing's a hunk of crap, but it's got a really nice screen. Like, it's actually a very nice screen. The buttons suck terribly. It's obviously got a bunch of stolen ROMs on it. These buttons are really bad. But God, for 20 or under sub $20 for something just to throw in your bag, if you want to go play a game while you're on the go, if you're if you're flying, you're traveling, you don't want to bust something out like this big, or your Switch, or maybe you just want to throw something in your bag, and if it gets stolen, who cares? Yeah, okay. I could go with this thing. 20 bucks? Yeah, why not? Alright, let's dig in. So here we do have our there's a dongle. Dongle alert. I'm gonna bet you it's for the controller. This thing's talking over here. Shush. So there's a dongle. Probably goes for the controllers that are in here. This thing is the actual adapter itself. It is literally just a an HDMI. You just plug in your TV. Bottom, you've got a naturally micro USB power. I wouldn't. USB. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume this goes in here. Okay. It literally looks like somebody just threw this in the box. They're like, okay, throw in a cord, got it. Throw in a HDMI lengthener doohickey, got it. Please be PS2 knockoffs. Please be PS2 knockoffs. Yeah. So these are your basic PS2 knockoff controllers. These are the gold standard for junk. It is hollow. Like there's no way. Does this have batteries in it? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It takes 2 AAA batteries. Why wouldn't it? Okay, so anyways, this is your garbage heap controller. There are 2 garbage heap controllers, so you can have multiplayer garbage heap. There's literally nothing to this, but it does have buttons that click. So similar to this hunk of crap, it is serviceable. Let's go plug it in. I'm not gonna walk you through how to plug this in. If you don't know how to plug in an HDMI, you probably don't know how you got to this channel. It's time for pudding. Otherwise, plug that into there, plug that into your HDMI. That way you have some length if you need it. I'm gonna go plug it in and turn it on. I just want you to take a look at this tree. I'm trying to line up a shot in here, and the whole room is orange because of this tree. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's obviously fall. And here's Rika. She's not very nice. So first of all, I'm pretty devastated because I broke my little... My God, what is this music? This menu music is not good. I broke my favorite little GoPro holder, so now I've got to hold my camera in one hand and the controller in the other. So here's our wonderful controller. It does work, but there is a significant input lag. Half the time it doesn't register. Okay. So we're looking at this thing here. It's got, we're looking at list, class, history, collect, search. Okay. I'm gonna R2, oh there we go, L2. So we have MAME, Famicom, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Mega Drive, Super Famicom, which is Super Nintendo, PS1, okay. And sorry, this thing was like 10 bucks. So if any of these things work, I will be very shocked. Let's do a little Super Famicom here. Sure, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Okay, so let's turn the audio back up a little bit here. So, stretched out, I mean, it's a 16-bit game. Stretch clear out, so it doesn't look great. Game start. Is it Ryu or Ryu? Sound off in the comments. The game runs well. And honestly, seeing it stretched 16:9 is odd, because it should be a 4:3 game. But I'm playing with one hand. I'm great like that. The buttons feel like crap. And you've got to press them pretty hard to get them to register. We established that earlier. And there's definitely dead zones in the buttons. But, I mean, it is playing a Super Nintendo game 16:9 on this big TV, so honestly, I'm not mad at it. The controller, like I said, is absolute garbage, but it works. I'm able to use the joystick or the D-pad. Buttons are all mapped properly. Like that's. See if I can push mode. Oh, mode takes me right back. Okay. So honestly, for some older games, I don't hate this. And it literally, this thing was like $10. Let's see what else we can. We're gonna push this thing on a PS1 game. Ooh. If this thing can run any PS1 games, this will be. It's running a PS1 game. Okay. Oh, this is the trilogy, the Insane Trilogy. You've got to be kidding me. My wife loves this game. She's going to enjoy this if it works. Sure. Again, one-handing this is not the easiest thing in the world, but we'll make it do. No way. I didn't steal that, I'm sorry. Dude, it actually runs really well. What the heck? Oh, there's a little bit of a slowdown. I mean, it doesn't look great, but maybe it is just because it's a PS1 game. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but the shadows on it, the lighting looks like it's way off. Now, I am comparing this to the Insane Trilogy that I have on my PS4, which I believe is obviously the remaster. But I mean, this is actually running extremely well. Stupid thing. And again, I'm playing this one-handed, so don't judge me. Okay. This is pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. This is. Why do I love this? Gosh dang it! Why do I love this stupid thing? I was gonna be crapping on all over these. That's what I was hoping to do for this video. Okay, pushing mode. It's not taking me back. All right. Well, oh, if you start and select at the same time, it brings you into the game control here. There you go. Oh, okay. Now you can remap if you need to. They're beautiful. Look at that. Okay. Huh. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I was completely prepared to hate these things. I was hoping to hate them, actually. I had a whole talk track prepared that was gonna be hilarious on just pooping on their parade all day, but I spent $30 or under on both of these, plus with shipping included, and they were here in like 3 days. For what they are, I don't hate them. Look, you know what you're getting. This is very cheaply built, but the display is really good. The games play fine if you're looking for Game Boy, Super Nintendo, like an old school retro player. Don't get this thinking you're getting 64 or PlayStation. I mean, they might do it, but don't do that to yourself. And I will say that if you have money to spend, get the actual Anbernic devices that look like this. They are far superior to this, the way they play. So if you've got some money to spend, and they're not terribly expensive either, you can get the one like this, I think, for 100 or less. But if you got the money, get the Anbernic ones. Don't get this. But man, if you want something just to throw in your gym bag, or throw in a bag that if it gets busted up or stolen, you're not going to get mad. Yeah, that works. And I mean, if you don't mind hollow controllers that rattle for some reason, this isn't a bad way to play some retro old games too. So, hey, I'm not advocating anything, but if you come across those things on TikTok and you want to pick them up, hey, why not? Until next time, have a good one.